All right.
Woo!
There we go.
Hey, with us on set is Michael DelGuidice. I am a fan of his, and I don't say that about many of my guests, but Michael, I am. He is a singer, a songwriter, very talented, and he's also very spiritual like I am. So welcome to the show, my friend.
Nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
When did your journey begin? At what age did you say music is your life?
Right from the beginning. You know, I had brothers and I had a father that loved classic music, rock music, classic everything. You know, from Barry Manilow all the way to Black Sabbath. So diverse. So I immediately just knew I wanted to do it. Started messing around, singing a little bit. I did a talent show, picked up a guitar, got a guitar. There's a lot of more intricate details, but I think also my neighbor had a band, and I used to go sneak over to his basement window and get inspired and watch. And eventually I went downstairs, sang a couple tunes. They were like, "You could do this," you know.
And that was the moment for
was,
you.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Don't you find when you're on that creative journey, you always kind of need somebody to tap you on the shoulder that says, "Hey, you're good enough to participate."
Yeah,
It's like a sports team in a way.
Absolutely, because everybody's made up differently. Some people have such self confidence that they could just do that. You know, I was definitely more of a shy kid. You know, Pisces kid. You know, just hidden, secluded. You know, but I knew that I wanted to do that. So a lot of it was done with my eyes closed, you know, to a degree, you know, and I knew I wanted it, but at the same token, you know, it goes by personality. Some people could be demonstrative with it. Others have to really need a, go do this.
Yeah, this is
And
where
I
you
had some
belong.
good teachers and friends and people around me that would always, tell me, you should do this, you should do this. And then eventually you just start.
Now, would you practice by yourself in your bedroom playing guitar and stuff?
I lived in my bedroom. I had my electric guitar. I had this old stage amp and a distortion box, and I would learn Led Zeppelin solos and Rush solos, and I was real into the rock stuff, and real into pop too. From the Bee Gees to Billy Joel to Elton John, you know, all big influences. So yeah, I never left my room. It was always practicing, always.
You know, for girls like my age, we were always like singing with our hairbrush and stuff, you know, and ABBA was really big and
yeah,
stuff.
mine
and
was
so
the-
I was wondering,
Mine was a
like
vacuum
what guys
stand.
do. Okay.
Mine was a vacuum stand. You know, one of those old Electrolux stand-up stands with and then I would put it like a fake microphone or something at the end of it, and just air guitar to it, but mine was the vacuum cleaner.
And the first time that you got off stage where people actually clapped, where you felt kind of like, wow, I did it. When was that for you?
That was the 6th grade talent show. We played, me and a drummer. I had this guy, Dennis Capella, that I was friends with. We practiced a couple of times, but he never had a drum set. So we would practice in his garage, and he'd play on garbage cans. He would just have like 5 garbage cans set up. I walked over, and I'm like, "Where's your drum set?" He goes, "This is my drum set." I said, "Well, when we do the talent show, I don't think you're going to be bringing garbage cans, inside the school." So we practiced a couple of times. We did the talent show. We got through me, him, and my friend Mike Ponticelli. That was Mike Ponticelli's last gig.
Okay.
He was nervous. He got nervous. I think
Aw.
he was like, "I don't think this is for me." But yeah, once the crowd went, I was like,
6th grade.
yeah.
And then-
And I really, it gave me something to look forward to for school, because I really wasn't a school guy.
When did you start tinkling the ivory? Because you went from guitar and now you're considered more of a keyboard piano man.
Yeah, I mean, it started off more with the rhythm instruments. It was
Okay.
drums was a big instrument in the beginning. I took lessons from Billy Dwyer across the street. So drums, bass, guitar were my first 3 main instruments, and then comes the piano. My church group needed somebody to direct the music for the youth group, and the guitar just wasn't kind of kicking it. You know, used to do a lot of those kind of Jewish feel songs, the oompa kind of songs, and on the guitar it just didn't feel right. So I took the guitar, went over to the piano, picked one note at a time out, and
Really?
kind of started figuring out. And
Wow.
yeah, and that's kind of how it just went from guitar to piano. I realized that there was inadequacies in the way I put my hand. So my chorus teacher, who was great at the time, Mrs. Stead, she just walked over and she said, "Everything's great, Mike. Just use your thumb." One of those. I was like playing with the claw. I had the claw going. So
It's like Friends when Phoebe was like, bear claw,
Bear
when she
claw,
learned how to play
yeah.
guitar.
Oh, yeah.
She's like,
There's nothing more uncomfortable than that.
she's like, you have a thumb, use it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's kind of cool. Now, when did you start writing music?
I started writing early. About the same time I started learning drums and guitar. I would, I was most of the songs that we did. I did it actually after the 6th grade talent show. I talked my principal, I don't know how, into allowing me and Dennis to perform on field day outdoors. So we did an outdoor concert for the school, which is unprecedented. And the guy was such an open-minded, good soul, the principal, that he's like, you know, Mike, if you do good this quarter, or you do good in school, you could do your concert kind of deal, you know. Well, it worked out. We did all that. And a lot of the songs we did there were original songs. And I was always a ballad. I always liked writing ballads. I was more of a slow songwriter. Always kind of had more of a knack for it, you know.
Excellent.
So I started
Words
there.
come first or music?
Usually a hook.
Okay.
Usually a guitar. I'll have just a chord progression in my head, and I'll just hear one main hook line, and then I'll usually write my first. I'll have a line, a lyric that goes along with that. And a lot of times I don't set out to say, well, I'm going to write a song about this. A lot of my songs end up being almost psychic, where I don't know what I'm writing about. I know it's about something specific, and then 10 years down the road, oh my God, I can't believe
Magic.
that. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, a lot of it is not just on the spot. Some of it's literal on the spot, and some of it kind of comes about after. But I find that one melody line, that haunting melody, that little hook that I get, and then I just go from there.
Now, the other night you sang a song about your mom. We were at the St. Anthony's fundraiser, which was
Yes.
really cool. And
That was a great
how many
show.
people? Hundreds of people were there.
Yeah, it was it turned out to be good. I mean, I don't think we anticipated how big the student center is at St. Anthony's High School. We walked in; it's probably the same square footage as in length as the Coliseum. I
It's
mean,
big.
it's huge. It's
Yeah.
just not as tall.
And the sound was good too, I guess, because it had like that
It had
vintage
the
kind
big
of
arena
ceiling.
sound. It
Yeah.
had a big, it was.
But the song
yeah.
that you wrote about your mom, for your mom, can you talk to us about that real quick?
Yeah, my mom was, a complicated woman. For us growing up, she was, we thought she was crazy. She's nuts. She's never happy. She's always, but then had the heart of gold. We just give you the last bit. And I think over the years, we all go through stuff, and then we always end up going through our years in our early 20s where we play the blame game, and we say, well, now I am who I am because, and you could either play the blame game in life, or you can try to understand. So the song Josie was really about me trying to understand my mother and where she came from, and looking at her roots and seeing that her mom, my grandmother, rest in peace, I loved her, but she was learning how to be a mom to my mom. So it goes down the line. Any mistakes that are made are usually not. I don't think parents set out to say, I'm gonna have a child and destroy this child, or I'm gonna give this kid a hard life. It's just we're doing the best we can as parents with the knowledge we have. So I saw that in my mother, and I said, being how she was raised and some of the problems she had and some of the things she saw, I think it's kind of amazing we all even turned out all right.
As good as she did.
And she, and looking back in retrospect, she was there. She was always there, and she was always, giving us confidence and believing in us and all that stuff. But a tough woman, funny, very funny woman. You had, in most families, you have the parents, you have the mother, you have the father. The father's the one that usually is walking down the hallway, hey, pull my finger. In my family, everything was the opposite. So my father, I don't think I've ever heard my father do anything like that. He never farted once in his life, I don't think. So my mother, though, right down the hallway like a freight train, right down the hall.
Oh.
So, and this was in the morning. You knew it was a good morning.
Yes.
When my mom was tooting down the hallway. So.
And there'll be a song about that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Tonight you'll be writing it.
Well, I'll just have to add another verse to Josie.
There you go.
But,
That was a beautiful, wonderful song. And now
Thank you.
let's take a listen because you sent us a clip. Let's take a listen at something that you've sent.
Okay.
Let's take a look.
If we try a little harder, if we talked a little more, could we avoid this disaster? Can we get back to the days when we laughed, held each other, when it seemed so right just to call you my lover? Who's to blame when we're cold? Take me back to the days of old. there's nothing better than going back to before, when we laughed, when we cuddled, when you were first and there weren't any others. Who's to blame when we're older? Can you take me back to the days of old? Can we get back to where we started? Should we just throw it away? Maybe we could say we're really all to blame when we're fighting for another day. We laughed, held each other, and it seemed so right just to call you my lover. Who's to blame when we're older? There's a long way back to the days of old, when we cuddled, when you were first, there weren't any others. Who's to blame when we're colder? You take me back to the days of old, when I loved, when I lived my life just to call it my own. What's my name? Am I so gone? Can I just get back to the days of old?
And we're back. Wow, you're super talented.
Oh, thank you.
And recently, somebody big, talk about big shot, became a big shot. Tell us about your journey with Billy Joel.
Yeah, the Billy Joel thing happened. I mean, we've been doing the tribute band for quite a few years, 15 years now. And over the course of the 15 years, we had guys who play with Billy that would play with me in the off season. And then Tommy Burns became a full-time member of Big Shot when Billy was off the road. And then there was rumors that Billy was going to go back out and maybe do a little mini tour in Europe. So Tommy said, "Hey, I'm gonna put your name in about coming in and doing rehearsals." Because Billy, not gonna come in and do like 13 rehearsals in a row.
For sound checks and stuff like that, right? Yeah.
So they would have what they call the stunt double come in and do the do the thing. And so all of a sudden I get the phone call. "Hey, do you want to do? We're doing a week of rehearsals at the Paramount. Do you want to come and do the rehearsal?" I said, "Absolutely, I'm in. Thanks." So we get to the Paramount. We start practicing. We're about 2 days into rehearsal. And of course, there's rumor floating around that Billy Joel's going to be coming on Tuesday. So we started on Sunday. So we did Sunday, Monday, and now Tuesday's coming up. I get a phone call early that morning from Tommy, and he says, "Hey, you have a passport?" I was like, I started to get a little excited. I was like, "Well, that's a good question, Why is he asking? They're going away." I'm putting it all together in my head. I'm like, maybe they need somebody to do this on the road, sound check and do all the stuff on the road. So then before you know it, walk into the lunchroom in the Paramount in that area. Billy walks in. People are asking me for my passport information. "Hey, do you know the stuff on guitar?" I'm like, "I know it on every instrument," And then before you know it, I'm out on stage. We're practicing. I got my own spot on the stage next to him to the left. I got a microphone. We're jamming on, some McCartney songs and having fun. And then we go through the set. And by the end of the set, he says, "Hey, I want to talk to Mike." And then we walked in the back. And then that's it. He asked me to go on the road with him.
It's a far cry from your vacuum cleaner days.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you want to talk about, and that was really the nutshell version of it. I mean, the amount of emotions that were going on throughout the day and through each process and the rehearsal, and am I doing good enough? Am I, everything was just, and then when him asking me was just capsuled everything, just put everything together.
And then you said yes. And then he said yes.
Yeah.
And it's been just so wonderful for both of you, right? You guys are having fun.
It's great. It's great. He's on his game. I've never heard him like this. and I've been a fan for a long time. I've been singing his music for a long time, and his voice right now is just at the top. I mean, we did a show in Kansas City recently, and it was just unbelievable. His voice was just fantastic, and I think he said to me after, he goes, "I still got a couple innings in me," just being funny, and I think it was an important night because I think he really, even that night, he sounds great. The whole tour he's been sounding great, but I mean this particular night it was like I think he wowed himself a little, like, all right, and that was such a great moment, a great confident moment. So and here we are. We're in the 16 shows into the Garden now, and touring in between with him, and more stuff to look forward to, hopefully.
Is it the same excitement for you that you had after that 6th grade talent show? Is that the young Michael inside of you that's just like kind of always jumping for joy each show?
Yeah, I mean that day at the Paramount when I first found out I was going to be in his band. I mean, I didn't see that coming. A lot of times in my life things happen, with God, and I always attribute it to that. Usually they happen when you don't see them coming, and it was one of those blindsided. I figured maybe one day I'd have, maybe get songs on the radio, do this, my own stuff. That would happen.
And that's still happening.
Which is still going now. But to have that, was really a fulfillment of a pretty major, accomplishment. Hey, I mean, with Big Shot, even I've made money and done well with Big Shot, but this is like, wow.
It's the big leagues.
Yeah.
I called my dad in St. Louis when I had interviewed a top celebrity, and like I was literally crying tears of joy. Like there's a moment in all of our careers where we're still doing what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
And we're still going, and there's still more things to accomplish. But there are those moments, those highlights in our lives that just say that we even get like overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So congratulations to you. I'm so,
Thank you so much.
happy for you. And I've because I said I've been your fan for a long time. So to watch your journey from being your Facebook fan for a while and watching your work, and then when that magic happened, it's like all of us were celebrating you. Do you know what I mean? We're so
great.
proud of you.
And I felt it too, on Facebook, and just, it was I mean, you couldn't be more excited than I was that day.
And now you have your own CD out. You're going to
I'm on
go on tour with that.
now. Yep.
You're going on 3 now.
Yeah.
Great.
Yep. And we're going to, I got a actually show coming up July 10th at the Bolton Center in Oakdale. And just, hitting it hard, really going to push now. I have to be careful, schedule, juggling and all
Trying
that,
to be like, and you're a dad
the
too.
Billy
You're
thing
like,
is-
four
four
you have
kids,
a family.
4
right?
kids, and they are all in my life. So it's not like I'm definitely juggling.
Well, thank you
daily,
for
so.
spending time with us too, because I know you were
no
working all
problem.
weekend. So
Yeah, no
thanks for
problem.
being here.
Thank you so much.
Yay,
Thanks.
come back again.
Absolutely.
And again and again.
Yep.
And maybe I can sing with you sometime. Maybe.
Yeah.
Could
you
I?
pick the song. You pick the song.
Really?
What do you
I would
want
love
to sing?
I don't know, but let's
I'll
think
bring a
about
guitar.
it.
I'll bring a guitar and we'll do it.
Oh, I would
We'll
love to do that.
Okay.
Okay.
You got it.
There you go. I'm excited. I hope you enjoyed this visit with Michael DelGuidice. I'm Donna Drake. Stay tuned for more on Live It Up. Yay! That was fun.
All right. Good. I'm glad.
Yay! What a